let's think about what makes ecosystems change. Yeah, so here is an older example where I used bubbles for the functions. It's a mobile operator, internet service provider, and a phone operator. So the old telecom model with fixed line telephony, voice calls and all that. And often the big operator in each country had all these three roles. That's why it's a dotted line. And notice these blue bubbles. That's the revenue generating functions. That's what the customer pays for, the utility carrier, so to say. So making voice calls, messaging, international calls, and web usage. So disruption now can occur because technology changes assets, right? So if we have a technology like IP telephony over the internet, then the access network and the copper nets and all that is not needed for the function of calling voice calls anymore, right? So all the support functions related to that also disappears. The main functions and the many functions are stable over time. They don't change. They might disappear. And this is what happens. So someone can come in, unbundle some functions to capture them, and they can make others irrelevant if they have a new technology or a new business model. And if they have a new technology, they have to have also a new business model. Because if Skype comes in and do this over the top service platform, putting the calls in the application layers instead of in the network layer, they capture 4 of 5 revenue generating functions and don't have to do any of the old support functions. So that's great. They have to add the organization of the abundance of all the users in the world so that you have the list of people that you're interested in connecting to. But, that's a very minor function that you can automatize in the platform. So technology change makes it possible to do things better, smarter, faster, cheaper. Then the old resources become obsolete. Maybe they're not needed for main functions or additional function. And all the support functions needed to actually utilize them in the ecosystem are also not needed. So we still have the costs for all the old things that we needed to perform a business, but someone else can do it reasonably well at the fraction of the cost, for example. Order of magnitude better value proposition. So it has to have a new business model. If Skype would have had calls and a monthly invoice, well, then the telecom operators could also offer IP telephony on a monthly invoice. That's what they actually tried to do. It's very predictable. Incumbent actors try to respond to unbundled new entrants coming into their industry, trying to steal their revenue generating functions by cramming the technology in their business model. Their business model cannot compete with the new one because it doesn't generate this order of magnitude better value. But the new actor must set up a new value network. If Skype comes in and uses the same base stations and same functions in the phone and so on, then it's difficult to differentiate and create better value cost trade-off. So it has to be some utilization of new functions and actors that the old supplier does not have. If you have a new business model and not a new technology, maybe it could be easy to others to also adopt that business model. Not maybe the incumbents, but maybe other new entrants, other players that want to come in and make their unicorn business happen.